I'm a little bit confused about the use of the word I. You gave the instruction, or sort of instruction, sometimes you need to be a little more firm with your thoughts. Sometimes you need to be a little less firm and a little just observe them. And to whom are you speaking? Who is that is supposed to be more firm with their thoughts?
I'm speaking to the one that is listening to my words. If you think that you are a separate self, then I'm speaking to that separate self. If you think that you are pure awareness, then I'm speaking to pure awareness. If you ask the question, how should I deal with my agitated thoughts? Then inherent in that question is the belief, I am a separate self. In which case, my response is to that separate self.
Okay, so I have another question. Maybe it's the same answer. There have been times when, say I'm sitting quietly, meditating, so-called, and then at the end, it seems to be time to do something else. Well, sometimes I don't know what to do. I mean, something doesn't know what to do. I mean, who decides what to do and what makes things happen?
Well, if this body-mind says, we'll now have a 20-minute coffee break, then this body-mind is the one that has decided what to do. If you put your hand up and want to ask a question, then it is your body-mind that has decided what to do. But in each case, the thought, let's have a 20-minute coffee break, or I want to ask a question, is not generated by a separate self. It doesn't belong to a separate self. Your thoughts come to you in the same way that the sound of this voice comes to you, or the sight of this room, or the weather, or the sound of the traffic. That there is no separate you inside the mind or the body that is orchestrating your experience. Just think now of how many chemical reactions are going on inside your body at this particular moment. What should we say? 1 million? Roughly. Give or take 1 or 2. How many of those reactions are you in control of? I mean, do you regulate your heartbeat or the circulation of your blood or the... Do you think you have control over just 1 out of 1 million occurrences called thought? Do you think you just control your thoughts, but you have no control over anything else? Okay, well, test it out. Just to see whether you can control your thoughts now. Just the rest of us will carry on with the conversation, but you're not allowed to think of anything for 2 minutes. Okay? We'll check again in 2 minutes' time, and if you haven't had a single thought during those 2 minutes, we'll conclude that you're in control of your thoughts. But if you have, we'll conclude that you're not. Okay, so there you are, you failed the test.
Where do they come from?
That's a good idea. Just observe your thoughts and see where do they arise. I mean, you know your thoughts. You see a thought appearing. Yeah? So you must see where it arises. Where does it arise?
It just does.
Yes, but where does it just does?
Well,
A thought is an object, yes. When I say an object, it has objective qualities. For instance, it starts and stops. Yeah. Now, anything that appears must appear in something or on something. Yes. Could you imagine having an email without a screen? Or the words of a novel without a page? Or a chair without the space of a room? It wouldn't be possible. All these, the emails, the words and the chair, they're all objects. Yes? And because they're objects, they come and go. But they have to come and go in something. There has to be something, a medium, for the object to appear in or on. Now, just bear with me a minute. Would it be possible to experience the email without experiencing the screen? Would it be possible to read the words of a novel without seeing the page? Would it be possible to experience a chair without experiencing the space that it appears in? Well, are you experiencing the space of this room or not? Yes. So, if we are experiencing an object, such as an email, the words, a chair, or indeed a thought, anything that is objective, we are, by definition, experiencing the medium that it appears in or on. Yes? You can't see an email without seeing the screen. Now, that means that if you are experiencing your thoughts, you are, or the sound of a car, you are by definition experiencing the medium they appear in or on. So now I ask my question again. What are your thoughts appearing in? Or what does that sound appear in?
my awareness.
Okay. When you say my awareness, when you say mine, you qualify it as mine rather than yours. Therefore, it must have a limit to it. Yes? Mine qualifies awareness. It limits it. Okay. Now, if you can see a limit to awareness, that limit is itself an object. It has an objective quality. Yes? It's finite. Are you with me? Now, what is aware of that limit? Keep using that.
Sorry, awareness.
Exactly. Not my awareness, but awareness.
Okay, well, so...
Well, hang on, don't be so quick. You say, okay, but so, that was a little casual.
I didn't take you seriously.
Really just take on board what you have just discovered. really ponder the implications of what you have just discovered. Because the implications of what you have just discovered are the answer to your question about personal identity, about who the I is that chooses or decides. You've just answered your own question in your experience. So it's for you now to formulate the implications of that understanding.
Does that also answer my question about where it comes from?
Yes. Yes, because you've answered that question. Where does your thought arise? Just take a thought now, or take a series of thoughts. What are they appearing in? Let me ask you the question another way around. Have you ever experienced a thought existing just outside awareness?
Yes.
Enter awareness. Have you ever experienced anything just outside awareness? Is there a kind of backstage to awareness where objects like thoughts or sounds are queuing up, ready to come in? Is that your experience? Don't all your thoughts arise from within awareness? And when they go, where do they go? An object, something that apparently exists, when it disappears, it must go somewhere. Where does it go? Don't say I don't know, because you experience the disappearance of your thoughts. Where does the email go when you close it down?
It just goes like that.
Yeah, but where does it go?
Nowhere. It goes to the same place where it came from.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Yes. And when the email appeared, did a new substance come into existence?
No.
No, the email is just a temporary modulation of the substance that is always there, the screen. It's just a temporary colouring of the screen. Yeah? And when the email goes away, the stuff it is made of doesn't go anywhere. Yeah?
Well, the email may have brought a new thought.
No, but you're mixing the metaphors. I'm just talking in a relative sense about an email.
Okay.
And the appearance of something.
Okay.
First of all, we've established if the email appears, it must appear in something or on something. And we call that the screen. Mm-hmm. Now, we've made the analogy, if a thought appears, it must appear in something or on something. And you quite rightly said, first of all, it appears in my awareness, and then you realized, no, it appears in awareness. Yeah? Mm-hmm. But then you went deeper into the question, or asked this question again, but where does it come from? So I've now gone back to the analogy of the screen. Where does the email come from? It's not put in from the outside. It's the email, it doesn't actually come from somewhere, because the email is not a thing in itself. It is just a temporary colouring of what is already there. The screen doesn't suddenly appear. Mm-hmm. Yeah? The screen just takes a new colour, a new name and form. Yeah?
Yeah.
And when the email disappears, the stuff it is made of doesn't disappear. So all that happens is that the screen loses a particular colour, but the stuff the email is made of remains. Mm-hmm. Now, Transpose that to your thoughts. When a thought appears, no new substance, no new object appears. The stuff that was already present, which is consciousness, just takes the shape of thought. The only stuff that is present in a thought is consciousness, or knowing. Yeah? A thought is just a temporary modulation of pure knowing. And then when the thought disappears, the knowing out of which it was made doesn't go anywhere. It just ceases taking that name and form and takes the next name and form, which is the next thought.
So am I confusing the substance of the thought with some kind of reality? I mean, maybe the screen.
Forget about the screen. Forget about the screen, because that's a metaphor. Don't mix the metaphor and its referent. We can talk about the screen and the email, or consciousness and thoughts, but don't mix them up.
Okay.
I don't mind which we talk about.
Okay.
Whichever you're most
then,
comfortable
then
with.
Consciousness.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that am I misidentifying the substance of the thought as something that's real in consciousness is a separate. The nature of the thought.
Okay. Take a thought now, or rather allow a series of thoughts to appear to you. And it doesn't matter what the thoughts are about, just allow a train of thoughts to appear. Now, each of those thoughts is made of something. Yes? It has to be made of something. Mm-hmm. Okay, now what is that something?
Well, it has to be.
No, don't. It has to be. It has to be means you're working it out with your mind. I don't know what to know. Want to know what it has to be or what it must be. I want to know, in your experience, what is it? You are experiencing the thought. Therefore, you must be experiencing what it is made of. So just go slowly. Take a thought, or take the experience of thinking, and try to touch the stuff it is made of. What is there?
It seems to be made out of the same thing that everything else is made out of. I can't distinguish.
No, that's very true, but try to name it. If you were to give it a name or a description, what is that? What are its qualities?
I think it's awareness, but I don't experience it. So I don't know if I'm actually experiencing it that way.
If you're experiencing the thought, you must be experiencing what it is made of.
Yes. And
so when you have a thought, are you not always knowing something? All thoughts contain, whenever you have a thought, you are knowing something. Yes?
Okay. It's made of my knowing.
It's made of what?
My knowing.
Very good.
Okay.
Exactly.
I get it.
Not my knowing, it's
Yes.
made of pure knowing.
Okay.
Now when the thought disappears, what happens to the knowing out of which it was made?
It's right where it was.
Perfect. And when the next thought appears, what is it made of?
The same thing.
Exactly. And when that thought disappears, what happens to the knowing?
It's the same knowing.
Perfect. So what is it that really appears and disappears?
Knowing. Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing real appears and disappears. What is real in the thought, its reality or substance, is this knowing.
Okay.
And we call it pure knowing. That is pure because It's not a moral purity. Pure in the sense, the knowing out of which each thought is made is not mixed with the content of any of the individual thoughts.
Yeah, that's...
It's, in that sense, it's pure. It's like the light in all colour.
Yeah.
The pure light in all colour doesn't share the limitations of the colours that it assumes. Mm-hmm. Hence the light is said to be pure. It is essentially uncoloured, but it can take the form of any colour. So this knowing is pure knowing in the sense that it has no limits in itself, and therefore it can take the shape of all limited knowledge or thought.
I think I get it. I don't think I get it, but something gets it.
I think you're right. I think